Hello, my problematic darlings. How are you? So wonderful to see you. Welcome to the Instagram version of Hill Jane Uninhibited. If you are watching this on YouTube, please click that like and subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. I need it. For those of you that are curious, I do not have a Patreon account. If you're interested in donating to the cause, to the channel, it's $Hillary75 Cherie. That's Cherie. I'll put a little whatchamacallit. A little non-paid endorsement, product only. Giorgio, Beverly Hills, my favorite perfume. Relive the 80s. Make your own dynasty with Giorgio, Beverly Hills. Boop. And now we're waiting on Mr. Lomax. Let's see. And there we are.
Hello.
Kissing. Hello. Don't you look spectacular? How are you?
You look amazing. You're making me look like a sick whore.
I do. I look like a sick whore. Well,
hold on.
How's it going? Little backstory to all this. I have been trying to interview Mr. Jacob Lomax here for, gosh, probably since January of this year when I discovered his channel on YouTube. And we'll put a link for all the, if this is on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, there'll be a link right here. If you're not watching this on YouTube, just go to put in on your YouTube search engine Jacob Lomax or Strangest Films.
Thank you. Thanks for the plug.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
You're like,
I want to talk a little bit. I want to get the boring stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about you, you and me. Now let's talk a little bit about growing up. Where are you from? I know you're in Vegas now, which is very appropriate. But where did you grow up, and what was your fascination with unusual films from an early age?
Yeah, that's a, oh my gosh. Hold on one second. I'm gonna turn my air off. Hold on. Okay. So. Oops. I grew up in Boise, Idaho, and which, you know, it's not very diverse there. I think a lot of people feel marginalized, and I think I did a lot of time growing up. Not to sound like a victim, because I had a really good support system, but I think so it's like super conservative there, but I think the flip side to that is that there's a lot of alternative culture there too. There's like a big, I would say, like alternative or punk scene there, and I got into that, and then just, I don't know, I always wanted to, I didn't like regular movies that other people were watching. I always liked the older films, and yeah.
It's funny you say Idaho, where you're from. It's Darcy DeMoss, who was the first celebrity interview I ever did, Patty from Can't Buy Me Love, and the girl whose face got smashed through the mirror on the Winnebago in Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. In Can't Buy Me Love, she says the fashion capitals of the world, Paris, New York, and Des Moines.
Yeah,
that's Iowa. I'm sorry. That's Iowa. Okay, I'm getting my eyes confused.
No, and you know what's funny? Everyone, when you say Idaho, everyone thinks Iowa, and vice versa. I've met people from Iowa that say that, and it's like they're very different. You know, they're on different parts of the spectrum, but yeah, they're very similar, though. I'm sure. But what about you?
Party Hurst has joined us. Hi, Party.
I love her, Party Hurst. That's the greatest.
Minerva Jane, who I knew from the Jane Mansfield fan club, has joined. Rain has joined us. All the camp queens are with us. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Yes.
You know what? And I didn't hardly promote this at all. And you know, believe me, it'll get a few views. To all, you know, Instagram is the home of. They think I'm a Satanist, which really is that bad? They think I'm a slut, which the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. But then they think I'm the new Trisha Paytas.
The what?
They compare me to Trisha Paytas here on Instagram all the time.
Give me the scoop. I don't know who that
is. I call her the queen of YouTube.
Oh.
You can't go on YouTube without seeing her chubby face, blonde hair, and she's always crying.
I need to make a video like that, I think. Like,
well,
running.
I did one when I got hacked this past summer. I did one. I sat on the floor. When she's crying, she'll sit on the floor eating pizza or something. I sat on the floor. I was wearing big, humongous Jackie O sunglasses. My account just got hacked. It got like 400 views. Anyway,
I'm one step ahead of you.
Ah, there you go. There you go. So, what made you decide to go to Vegas? And were you influenced by Nomi Malone?
Oh, totally. Isn't that weird? I almost am a little embarrassed to admit this, but I'd never been to Las Vegas before I moved here. My husband is from Las Vegas, so we were living in Denver, Colorado, and I hated living there, and it was just so cold and depressing. And yeah, I said, I don't know. I thought of Showgirls. I thought of Know Me. I said, maybe it'll be an exciting place. Maybe I can reinvent myself. I was very inspired by her, actually. I wanted to say really
I
quick, too.
honestly,
Oh, no.
I'll
Just,
keep it real. I've never been to
okay.
Vegas.
Oh, my God. I
As
want
much
to.
as I love that movie, every time I came close, we had all but purchased our tickets around 2018. Me, my friend, and a problematic roommate, we were going to go. And me and the roommate fell off, and so those plans hit the dirt. You know, but it's just something that I've never done, and I've always wanted to go. And people are always like, you know, that's where you can, for me, that's where you can age the way that you should be aging. But you know, I'm like conflicted because you know I'm getting up there, but I want to age and be New York.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the thing is that I'm just gaudy enough and over the top enough to where, like, people have told me you'll really fit in Vegas.
Oh, you would. You would actually. You probably would do so well here. I think. I
How are
wanted
the
to.
guys? Would I meet my own personal James Smith?
Yes, you would. You would. I think you
I
would.
love that you know who that is. I love that you know who that
Set the
is.
town on fire. I wanted to say hello to Minerva Jane too. She's actually from Boise, so like she's a Boise queen. So she hit me up last night and said, "Oh my God, I know her from Jane Mansfield Fan Club." So just backtracking on that, she remembered you too.
Oh, wow. Hi, Minerva Jane. And I want to say hello to Fresh and Black, who is my Italian stallion.
Ooh, okay.
He knows who he's watching this. Wow. It's really getting, you know, for not being promoted, it's getting a few views. So anyway,
I love it.
Yeah. So may I ask, Mr. Lomax, I don't know if we should do this now or at the end. I'll save it till the end. What was the first over-the-top campy type movie that you saw? And what is your definition of camp?
Oh, wow. From when I was a kid, geez, I remember going to I lived at like the public library, and there was a whole movie section of like the books, and there was a book that I would get called Bad Movies We Love, and I kept seeing the word Valley of the Dolls, Valley of the Dolls. I want to say that's one where I was really like, where I kind of understood more the camp aesthetic, you know, but yeah, that one. I always liked like Roger Corman movies. Maybe I just did Little Shop of Horrors. That was like one of the first like really weirdo kind of movies I think I saw as a kid.
Suddenly Seymour is my dream number. I want to do that so bad. You have no idea. If I could sing, that's another thing about Trisha Paytas. She did a little skit on YouTube where she's playing she's doing the Suddenly Seymour. She's playing Audrey, she's playing Seymour and the three backup singers. And it's really good. It's really good. I can't stand the woman, but I love her music. Yeah. But yeah. Little Shop of Horrors, I wonder, I was just now thinking as I asked you that, what was the first campy movie that I saw? I'm thinking, compared to the other one, Jaws 2, when I was really little, it was a little bit over the top, because Donna Wilkes is screaming her heart out, and I love that. I'll play that part in a second. So, the Donna Wilkes part, if you've seen it.
During the pandemic, I saw Jaws 2 at the drive-in. I didn't go see Jaws 1. I went to 2. I like sequels, so I liked that.
Well, me too. Donna Wilkes is the one who says, "Do you always do what your parents tell you?" And she's like, "It's that thing. It's that thing." I love her.
That movie, the shark eats a helicopter and pulls it into the ocean. It was so good. It was so like.
It's really beautiful though, like when they're set sailing on the ocean, and it's really beautiful the way the director. You can tell he's not American. He's a French director. I think he's French, right? He's French. The way he films it, he's playing the music, and it's really gorgeous. I loved it. And I actually saw that before I saw The Job. I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I used to always want the sharks to eat everybody. I loved it. And then there was another camping movie, Great White, I think was the name of it. Of course, Jaws 3.
That's Great White's like an Italian one. It's super trash.
Yes, but it's got American actors in it. Isn't that interesting?
It's like Jaws with like a little more sex in it, you know, like
a
little trashy.
And a little more. At times, a little more bold. They show the shark a lot.
Can I go back on my answer? You know, my first campy movie, and I didn't know. I don't think I really knew anything about Joan, but my first one that I saw on TV as a kid, Mommy Dearest.
Probably me too. Now that I think about it, me too.
I thought it was like a horror movie. I didn't know, you know, I didn't know the real backstory, but I was like, what?
Were you like me? Of course, you knew who that was before you knew who. That's funny.
Look at the back too. Oh, you got it. We got it. you know, you got to
But
show.
I knew who that was before I knew who Joan Crawford was. And then when I started watching real Joan Crawford movies, I was waiting for her to act like Faye Dunaway. And she doesn't act anything. She doesn't act anything like that. Her diction is very perfect. She does not have an accent. She pronounces every word not as good as Betty Davis, because you know Betty Davis would say that, you know, my daughter. You know, Joan would say daughter, but she didn't say it like Faye Dunaway, as Joan would say daughter. You know, so I think that maybe Faye Dunaway. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think maybe Faye Dunaway saw one Joan Crawford movie, and that was Queen Bee.
Yeah, Queen Bee,
I think
and maybe Harriet Craig.
maybe Harriet Craig, not Harriet Craig, the other one. Yeah.
I always say the producers of Mommy Dearest, I don't think they read the book. I think they only watched Queen Bee, Harriet Craig, and Straight Jacket. Have you ever seen Straight Jacket? And she has the.
I'm a country girl too.
Yes.
Now that's the part that I would play. You know, she picks up the ass and goes,
Yeah.
oh my God. I just love her. I could live with that woman 24/7. And honestly, do you think she was really crazy? And when I just think it was the time, and a little bit of how she was raised. And I think that Miss Christina, bless her heart, has made quite a living off of her mom. For having such a troubled childhood.
She monetized it. She totally.
She does autograph wire hangers.
Yeah, I don't feel that sorry for her now. You know, like I think Joan Crawford grew up in a really, like, she was like the rags to riches story, and then she had to deal with like real horrible sexism in Hollywood, and probably did have to do a lot of the like sleeping and casting couch or whatever. So I think she was probably traumatized a lot, and I think she was probably bipolar and an alcoholic. So she had dramas, but I think Christina Crawford lived an advantaged life and was probably
she did.
Yeah, but look, I bought this at the. I'm such a fan. I bought this at the supermarket the other day.
Oh, what is that?
It's a tabloid, and Joan was the cover, so I was like, I have to buy this. But
that's my favorite. That's my favorite Crawford look. I love the humoresque to female on the beach time.
Yeah,
oh, and I love
it has like this lovely photo.
And that's another thing. Joan did not do her eyebrows like that. What the hell was that?
It was like, I know the eyebrows in that movie are really extreme. She kind of had them later in life, but she didn't do it like through the 30s. They were really.
Can you imagine the pain that caused when she in the 20s, 30s, and 40s when she was plucking them out? Can you imagine the pain she went through? Because she had some thick eyebrows. The woman, she had some thick eyebrows.
That'd be like me.
She was a hairy gal. She had, her body was covered in freckles too. She wore makeup all over her, but she's just so fascinating. And it reminds me to a limit. Like right now, I don't have my lashes on. I didn't have time to go get some lashes, so I'm doing it really bright so you can't tell. And I've got like lots of eyeshadow on so you can't tell.
Oh, well, I love it.
There's lots of tricks you can use. So what's your definition of camp? Because I watched the movie You Don't Know Me.
Oh, yeah.
You Don't Know Me. And they try to define camp, and I don't think they do a very good job of it. What is your definition of camp?
I haven't seen that one yet, but I heard that's not like the best. There's like another Showgirls documentary that's going to be better, but camp to me.
Yeah, but is that one ever going to get made? I mean, it's like they've been doing, oh my God, they interview everybody.
For like 5 years.
They keep running out of money.
Yeah. So to me, camp, it's like when they're trying to be sentimental, but it's perverted, or when they're trying to be perverted, it's sentimental, and it's like tonal whiplash. I think it's like the opposite of what you. Like Valley of the Dolls, again, is a good example. It's supposed to be this Oscar-winning, prestigious drama, and it's like it's you know, I try to show it to people that don't know what that is, and they're always so confused. They don't know what's, like, it's hard to follow that movie. Like, if you don't know.
It is, and it's funny because they're not in any scenes together, none of them. There's one picture of them, none of them are in any scenes together.
I love that. Were they friends? We don't know. Like, were they?
Barbara and Sharon were good friends.
No. Like in the movie, it's like in the.
Oh yeah, how do they know each other?
Did they know each other? Like, were they incidentally? I don't know. It's so bad.
And it's funny. People always compare Jennifer North to Marilyn Monroe. No, she's based on Carol Landis and a tiny bit of Jane Mansfield.
Thank you, Carol Landis. Yeah, she. Yeah, the Monroe thing because of the suicide. Yeah, it was more. The book is all about the 40s and the 50s. So yeah, it was definitely kind of like more old school than Marilyn Monroe. I was going to ask, do you have this?
The book?
You have the Showgirls book?
No, I don't. I do have this. I have the original, and I spent a fortune on this.
Gag. I would spend a fortune on it. That is so good.
That is like the original sheet from like 1995.
So good.
And it deserves to be in a frame, but
no, I know. But this, I do recommend it. I don't even think like on Amazon you could probably find this for not too much. It wasn't. I don't remember it being that much.
oh God, I just love her so much. Just now, you just sent it. I'm like a shiver through because I just love her so much. And a lot of what you're seeing now, a lot of Hillary makeup wise, is inspired by that. You know, wearing your lashes to the restaurant, you know, at 2:00 in the afternoon. I mean, of course, who doesn't? It's like Real Housewives of so and so. That's what they do. I love that kind of thing.
Prophetic. She was very ahead of her time with the makeup is really good in that movie. I agree.
And do you know who she beat out? You probably do, but do you know? I'm gonna tell you. Do you guys know who Elizabeth Berkley beat for that part? Do they know who she beat for that part?
Was it Drew?
Charlize Theron.
Oh, I thought it was Drew Barrymore.
Charlize Theron had the part, and Paul wanted Elizabeth. If you watch certain parts of it, you can see, like when she's being thrown out of the bar, I can see Charlene saying, "Stop it, you asshole!" I can see her doing that.
I could see her in it, but I heard Paul Verhoeven was in love with Elizabeth Berkley. Like it was like it was
I heard they had an affair, and that's
yeah.
why Gina had a little bit. She doesn't talk about it now, but Gina had a little bit of animosity. We'll see. I mean, who knows?
Oh my God.
Gina never disowned the movie, but there was a time when she didn't talk about it much. Rena Riffle, however, has always maintained her love of the movie. I have actually talked to her online. She was supposed to do an interview with me back in May. She never got it. She's very hard to get a hold of, believe it or not. She's easy to get a hold of, but she's hard to get a hold of.
I love her. Penny she's so good. She is actually kind of
too?
Yeah. Oh no, I want to so bad. I want
to see my review?
I've heard it's like I've heard really bad reviews, but I've also heard people say it's like beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
It is. It's it really takes you there. When I do a review, it's a review on. I have a review for it on my channel, and that's when she saw that. She sent me a little message.
That's how I found you.
The double from really.
I was trying to find Showgirls 2 like for free on YouTube, and I found you. I wanted to know what the scoop was, so that's how I found you. Oddly.
And what's her name? The body double from Pretty Woman, Shelley something.
Oh yeah.
She is the other leading woman. I started off, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And then I got more and more into it. And now I really love it. I really love it. And it's like, it's so you know, she paid for it herself.
Yes.
She paid for it herself. So she can only do so much. I mean, come on. You know, it's just funny. She tries to recreate some of the Showgirls part, and she's doing them like at someone's house, and it's supposed to be a nightclub. It's really cute. And bless her heart. I just love her.
I was interested in it that she wrote and directed. It was like a woman filmmaker making this weird independent movie. I mean, it's very today in a way, but it was like, what, 10, 20 years ago? Yeah, so good. So good.
I'm trying to think of the first campy movie I saw. Well, I'm not a campy movie, but my definition of camp, I'm just going to go with over the top.
Yeah.
And a plot times 50,000. Like Mae West was very campy.
Oh, I love Mae West.
And, you know, people have a habit of comparing Jane Mansfield, my muse, to Marilyn Monroe. And so when people do that, I say, just like Marilyn Monroe, when Jane copied Marilyn Monroe, and just like Marilyn Monroe copied Lana Turner, who copied Jean Harlow, who copied Mae West.
Totally.
But Mae was a little more extreme. And so actually Jane and Marilyn were nothing alike. Jane was much more in the throes of Mae West. But some trivia I have for you. Do you know who Jane really, really loved, who she really wanted to be like? She didn't give a damn about Marilyn.
Who?
She liked the popularity that Marilyn had. Elizabeth Taylor was her idol.
Oh, wonderful.
She loved Elizabeth Taylor.
Of course, the class.
And they lived for a very brief time. They were next door neighbors.
I love that.
And Jane went out drinking one night with Debbie Reynolds. And Jane was kind of I'm not going to say mean drunk, but she had a smart-ass mouth when she was drunk. And Debbie was talking about, you know, Debbie never got over the Eddie Liz thing. She never did. I love you, Debbie. Don't come for me, Debbie Reynolds fans, but she never got over Debbie, Liz, and Eddie. So, are we frozen? Okay, uh-oh. There we go.
My landlord was calling me. Hold on.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So Debbie was talking about it one night, and Jane said, like, screw that Liz. Let's go get her. And so Jane went one night with Debbie and was throwing bottles at Elizabeth's window and was throwing things at Elizabeth's window. And Debbie was just like, oh my God. But Jane was like, come on.
Can you hold on? I know I got a phone call. And this never happens. Hold on. Hello. Hi, Mary. What's going on? Water leaks. Our tub leaks. It drips a lot. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought Miles told you, but all right. Is there some time someone could come and look at it this week? Okay. Okay. Oh, I thought he told you when our rent went up, so I'm sorry, I didn't know. Okay, I'll let him know. I mean, he's been easing off the garden, so I think it's just gonna die anyway, so. Sorry.
That's all right. I was just looking. I just actually broke a nail, so I was looking for some glue, but instead I found.
I was going to show you this, going back to Jane Mansfield.
So I was looking for some glue, and instead I found this.
Oh, hello. You know, rapid.
Hollywood Babylon, yes. Mansfield, yes. Hollywood Babylon, Mr. Kenneth Anger, yes. Let me tell you something, little history. That is the very first time I ever saw Jane Mansfield. I was 8 years old. You know, back in the early 80s, parents could leave their kids alone, and my mom, like every Friday during the summer, she would drop me off at the mall, and she'd give me like $10 to eat at Burger King and buy a record or whatever. And I saw Jane Mansfield on the cover of Hollywood Babylon, and I bought that. I think it was like $4.95, $5.95.
Yeah.
And I just went crazy because next to my mother, I had never seen another beautiful woman like that, and that started my fascination with her.
I think this, and I was gonna, I brought this out too because I've had this. This is like a clipping from a magazine I've had forever. I think this was the time I saw Jane Mansfield, and I just was obsessed with this. There's so much drama in this photo, and just.
And Mariska actually has that framed in her apartment.
Oh, I wish I had a huge one, Frank. I mean, I love that photo. I could just gaze at that for a long time.
There's actual footage of it. And in the footage, you can see what she was actually doing, which she really wasn't invited over the table. She comes over when she first gets to the place, the restaurant, and she's wearing her fur, and she says hello. And as, of course, Jane is drinking a little more at her own table, she comes back, and as towards the end, she's just posing there, not even doing. She's just posing at the table, and I can't remember who it is. But there's this one really gay guy who's in entertainment. He's just like this over Jane, you know, and you can see in the picture, he's like, but it's so fabulous. And Luella Parsons just got such a kick out of Jane. She just adored it because Luella Parsons was also at the table. She loved it because this was giving her great column.
I've heard Sophia Loren kind of talk about that and like maybe make it sound like she looked bitchier than she actually was. Like she was just actually kind of just taken aback. What do you know about that? Was she like really hating on her? Or was it just kind of the photo?
She was Jane was the queen at that particular moment in time. Very briefly, she was the queen, and she was jealous.
Yeah. I mean,
because she had also she was not getting, you know, Sophia Loren. I don't know who was she. Who was the other one? Gina Lollobrigida, the other one. Yeah. You know, so Jane was getting all that attention, and she was jealous. It was a party for Sophia, and Jane was stealing the scene.
I believe it.
As she often did.
Yeah.
Isn't that fabulous?
I heard she had a press room in her house that was just for journalists to come and like she would just pop in is that true?
She would when fans came to her house, anybody, she would give them tours of her mansion. She had no problem. She'd sit with them on the sofa and drink lemonade with them, and she just loved it. She could be, even if she was drunk, even if she didn't have her wig on, she'd make herself up just really, really fast. She just loved fans. Like if you telling her you're my favorite star, you're so beautiful, she literally would cream. It was, and she melted like honey because it meant so much to her, and it was her dream her whole life. And going back, the Marilyn Monroe thing, it was a way of her to get her foot in the door, but at the same time, she wanted to be a serious actress. Yeah, but she did love being a sex symbol. She really did, and she loved the fact that she was a mother who was also a sex symbol. And today, she should really be touted as, she had no plastic surgery whatsoever. And in unairbrushed pictures, you can see it. You can see some cellulite. You can see a little flab or whatever. But that's fabulous, And I'm not saying there's nothing. I love to get a nip and a tuck from time to time. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, it's very hard. It's very difficult. You don't see a lot of sex symbols these days. They're either airbrushed to hell or they've had a lot of work done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love how natural and yeah, she's so thick and beautiful. Lana, I was thinking about Lana Turner, like we were talking about camp more.
She was campy, and she doesn't get associated with camp a lot, but she was very campy.
She was.
Madam X. Oh my God.
You ever see The Big Cube?
No.
She gets, someone gives her LSD, like they drug her and Lana on a trip. So she has an LSD trip. It's really funny. So I like Lana Turner to me is more camp because she thought she was very serious and like the greatest actress. And I think Monroe and Jane Mansfield, they're playing a character. Like they knew that they were being over the top and like being ditzy on purpose. So I don't know, camp does have weird different degrees. Like I think that some people, that they think they're the best actress in the world and really we're kind of laughing at them. And then there's the people that
exactly. And I have to say, someone who doesn't get called camp a lot, and she's another blonde, honey blonde, is Kim Novak. And I just love her voice. And I'm surprised the gay audience doesn't talk about her more and she doesn't give more attention. Maybe it's because she's still alive. But like, that scene in Vertigo where, she's at the window and she's like, coming towards him. Oh my God.
Okay. She was, I am a huge Kim Novak fan. I just recently watched her in this movie, Picnic. Have you ever seen that?
She's got reddish hair.
She's a redhead, which is kind of weird, but she's a really good performance. William Inge, she was a great, queer playwright. But yeah, I love her voice was deep. I don't want to go to the picnic, Mom. Like she's great. Do you know who Candy Darling is?
Of course, you didn't see my special on Candy Darling.
Maybe I did.
I did a whole special on her. Yes, I've got
I have lots of show and tell. But I just
I've
bought
got
this.
I've got the Cosmo poster waiting for me to pick it up.
Oh,
I had a copy made. It wasn't really the cover of Cosmos. Francesco Scabolo made that specifically for her. But here's an interesting little tidbit about it. He tried to slip it in to what was the Helen Gurley? So he tried to slip it in as the cover that much. And Helen clocked it. He made it. He was going to make it be the cover. He slipped it in. And Helen's like, we're not doing that. No. Helen Gurley pitched the fit. So I think after she died, maybe right before she died, it was like some supplement in Interview magazine.
Oh.
Andy, of course, Andy came through for her, even though he didn't when she was dying. But
here, I love this photo.
Yes.
I know, I think I temporarily forgot. I know you do love her, and but she loved Kim Novak, and she kind of looks.
Yes, she got her. That was her muse. Like mine is Jane Mansfield. Her muse is Kim Novak. I find that fascinating, and she's a really good actress. And I show scenes from Candy Darling in the little. I do a review of Candy Darling, and I show some clips from it. And listen, they didn't copyright it, thank God. But I show some. Clips from it where she's like, Chloe, what's her name, is reading excerpts from Candy's diary, and it's so sad. I'll never do this. I'll never do that. I can't go swimming. I can't do this. And then Candy, I don't know if it's from a film. Me and someone were talking about this. I don't know if that's from a film where she's talking on the phone. She's like, "What did I ever do to you?" Someone's kicking her out of the apartment. I don't know if that's for an Andy Warhol film or if that was real.
Maybe Women in Revolt. Oh, I don't know.
Really?
There was that really good documentary about her that came out like a few years ago. And yeah, they read her diary entries. They were devastating and very.
They were, but that's the Candy Darling. That's the Beautiful Darling.
Yeah.
And the only thing about it was financed by Jeremiah, who was, I think, secretly in love with her. And they don't talk much about the prostitution. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. I might have to figure that out. But they don't talk much about that. And I mean, listen. And that if you're a transgendered woman, that's something that comes along with it. You can always make your rent. She never did that. She never did that.
They did kind of skirt over that. I mean,
They did.
there was someone that implied like she had many.
She went upstairs and she comes back down and she's like, I didn't get nearly the amount that I'm supposed to. I'm like, girl, I know how you feel.
She had many meetings with strangers, as Blanche Dubois.
And I think they were all Indian.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, just like with me, you know, the brothers are my biggest fans, you know, and God bless them, I'm theirs. So can we do that a little bit? Can we talk a little bit about your personal life? Is Mr. Lomax single, and does he have a significant other? And what does he look for in a significant other?
Well, I've actually been married for 3 years now, and we've been together for 8 years. And yeah, I have a wonderful husband named Miles, and shout out for him. He has a YouTube as well. It's Paradise in a Pot, like Pear a Dice, because we're in Las Vegas. But he's into horticulture and houseplants. I have my fern. I tried to show my fern.
All right, Fern.
Yeah.
From Charlotte's Web.
So, yeah, I put that in there just as like a hey, shout out to him. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's super creative, and we just yesterday spent the day in Boulder City, which was very fun, and we just like putzed around. It's like a little town. It's where the Boulder Dam, the Hoover Dam is, and yeah, just putzed around. But you know, there's, as far as physical attributes, I mean, I like dark, tall, and handsome, but I also like kind of white and nerdy. I don't know. I never say that I have a set type. Like, I think Middle Eastern men are beautiful. I think Latin America is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, I'm more into like, what are you interested in? What's interesting about you? You know, that to me is, and a sense of humor is very attractive too. Well,
you yourself, I was looking as I was making all those posters or those little advertisements for you and I was looking at your features. You've got some Hispanic somewhere back there. I know the name Lomax, but there's some. I've just seen some Spanish. It looks like, especially with the hair when it was longer.
So my mom's side, Italian American, I think is one of those features. Yeah. So and
Lomax is the real name, because that's a
real family name.
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool.
And I think
I'm German American. I'm actually second generation German. I am totally white.
Yeah.
On the physical side, on the looks of it, but I can dance. I can really well. So they say. So they say. But yeah, you know, opposites attract. I like men of color. I was married last year myself, and it was annulled a few months later. I was actually married. I had a real marriage because legally I'm female. And the state of Maryland, I showed this on another show, but this is my wedding catsuit.
I love it. I got married in a tracksuit, incidentally. So we both skin tight wedding day outfit. Oh, wow.
This is a knockoff of the Britney Spears Toxic video catsuit that she wears. But I wanted gold. See that? I wanted gold.
Pretty.
It's sheer. It's sheer. And you should have seen it when I walked into the courthouse, honey.
I got all eyes on you.
Well, they always are anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know. How many have you been married more than once?
No.
Oh, me either. I love meeting people where they're like, I've been married 6 times, 7. Oh
you would think that I was. You would think that I was. Now the love of my life, if you watched my really serious video that I did where I talk about some incidents that happened to me in North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. Well, he and I touched on it. But remember, we were in North Carolina, which was that state. So the thing was, we would have to leave, and he is never going to leave North Carolina. Bless his heart. That's actually the love of my life. He will never leave North Carolina. But oh God, this is really getting personal. But his children were in foster care, and my thing was, this is how I can get him to marry me. If you marry me, we'll have an easier chance of getting the kids back. So that was my whole, but yeah, it never panned out, you know. Though when he was in prison, I did actually try to get his little boy. I did try, and his mother, the grandmother, blocked it.
Oh damn! I was gonna ask you about Baltimore. What? I've never been. So you've never been to Vegas. I've never been to Baltimore, but I would.
Well, you're not missing much.
No?
It's okay. When you see those John Waters movies, those are in the ghetto, and he cleans them up for his scenes.
Sure.
They still look run down, but he cleans them up because let me tell you, Cecil B. Demented is filmed in the hood. And I was shocked. I'm like, they got Melanie Griffith to come here and she filmed these parts because that parking lot of that convenience store is completely desolate, run down, and in the heart of the hood. I'm saying it is drug central. But he made it look, it still looks run down, but he made it look halfway decent. He makes it look lower middle class and Caucasian, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
The magic of the movies. No, the glamour of Hollywood.
Which one is it where Divine is wearing the Jane Mansfield costume and she's walking down the street and they're playing The Girl Can't Help It? I can't sit through those early John Waters movies.
The Mondo Trash Show, it's so different.
I can't because it's too disgusting. It's too disgusting. You know what I'm talking about. I can't.
Yeah. I like all of it.
Polyester is the oldest I can do.
But I love the old ones. I would say, I think the older I get, the more I think polyester and it's my phone. No one ever calls me except now. Like the phone never rings. Here, should I be on the phone live? Here. Hello. Hi, Mary. Today? Oh, okay, awesome. I'll be okay. Bye-bye. Oh God! When it rains, it pours. I swear.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I know exactly how you feel.
But I was gonna say, So polyester. What's your favorite maybe John Waters movie, or what one sticks out in your mind?
Oh my goodness. I love Tracy Lords. So Crybaby. Yes. Where he prominently showed her. She was prominently featured. He basically showcased her and gave her a legit career. So I'm grateful to him for that. I love Cecil B. Demented. I've always been wanting to. I love the idea of it. The only thing I don't like about Cecil B. Demented, first, I love Melanie Griffith.
Me too.
But you can see Melanie Griffith is just not a bitch. She just doesn't have it in her to be a bitch. I don't think she's not as good as someone like Julia Roberts. If they've gotten Julia Roberts to play that, because Julia Roberts might have a little bit of that anyway. But Melanie Griffith is so sweet. She just doesn't. She's not a bitch. She's not like that.
The contrast of that, though, I kind of liked how the cult is really mean to her, but I kind of liked how she stays sort of evenly sweet even though she's abducted and being brainwashed. Like I thought that was a kind of a nice touch. But yeah, Cecil B. Demented, that's like one of my favorite ones, and I don't think it's the one people like that. Maybe I
think everyone always talks about Serial Mom. Yeah. I think people talk about that, and he really toned down his camp or his gross outness. He really toned that down, probably for Kathleen Turner. Yeah. She said, "Oh, I would never do today." She probably toned a lot about that. I like it, but I think if he had really been able to do what he wanted to with it, and of course, Hairspray. I love Hairspray, the original Hairspray.
So cute, so good.
And I love that. The lines from there are just so, when Ricky Lake is telling her best friend, that guy was asking about, the black guy, the cute one. Well, of course, they didn't say that in the new Hairspray, but back then it was just so, I just love that kind of thing, where it's just real. It's real.
It was trying to be, it's a fantasy, but it's also tries to have a little realism about the time. And now,
Michelle Pfeiffer was great, but, between Debbie Harry and Michelle Pfeiffer.
It's Debbie Harry.
I love Michelle Pfeiffer, though. White Oleander is my favorite book.
Oh, it is a good book. I remember that.
And I liked the movie. Obviously, the book, there's a lot in that book. And so the movie couldn't, I thought for the scenes that they did, they upheld the book really well.
The book is heavy. The movie
God, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I love that Melissa McCarthy has a two-second part as the woman, as the paramedic, But Michelle Pfeiffer that's my favorite Michelle Pfeiffer role. She is legendary as Astrid.
Give it up for
what am I supposed to do? Bathe myself in the blood of the lamb? I feel nothing. I regret nothing. Here it is. Self-defense. He was killing me.
I love it. I
really wish whenever she makes me, I wish she would just concentrate on the bitchy roles because she really tapped into that.
She really is good. Michelle Pfeiffer, for me, it's Scarface. So good in that. If you pause her at any moment in the movie, she looks amazing. Like there's no bad angle of her. And then of course, Catwoman.
Well, yeah,
people hate.
Well, the thing is that I remember the Joan Rivers show where Sean Young was the guest on the Joan Rivers show, And she wanted that part so bad. And when Sean Young came out there wearing that mask and talking in that voice, because she was doing the Eartha Kitt voice.
I was going to say she was like Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt, Catwoman. Yeah.
Yeah. But I like it. I like it. I don't think there's been a great Catwoman yet, Halle Berry.
It's no good. That movie is so dumb. It's about a makeup. I kind of like that it was about a makeup corporation, but it was so Sharon Stone.
Well, I like Sharon Stone as the nemesis. Her. I like that. Yeah, Basic Instinct 2 is another one that I wanted to review. What did you think of Basic Instinct 2?
So, I mean, are there words? Like, time stood still during that movie. Like, I just...
Listen.
Oh, my God. I don't even... You know what? I love Paul Verhoeven. I don't really like... I like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, but I don't really like that's not a movie I love, like Showgirls or... Compared
to a lot of his other films, it doesn't have the same... It's got the corny lines, but it doesn't have the same... Like you can tell people that criticize Showgirls have never seen a lot of Paul Verhoeven movies, because all his movies, just a few exceptions, all his movies are kind of the same. They're all over the top. Starship Troopers, they're all over the top. They've all got a woman in a wheelchair. I think you caught that at one point. They've all got a woman in a wheelchair. They've all got... just little things that he always puts in his movies. They always have like a woman in full makeup at 11 o'clock in the morning. You know, they've all got something like that. But yeah,
it's hyper real. Everything is so it's
hyperbolic.
Beautiful.
That's why he calls it. He calls it hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic, yeah. And it's like, I agree with what you just said. Like, people talk about Showgirls so over the top. All of his movies were RoboCop, Total Recall, all of them. They all have that side. So
Sharon is good in that movie. Sharon is really good in that movie.
Yeah, and I love her. Like, I wish there was a Sharon Stone cut, because I don't care about Michael Douglas and all that other shit. But I'm like, I'm just here.
Well, that's the thing about Basic Instinct is that they take the Catherine Tremell character, and I have to say, whenever she's in it, it's like Catherine 2.0, Catherine 5.0, because she's really not in the movie that much. If you notice, she's really not in the movie that much. But when she is, it's like, bam, here she is.
Good.
You know,
so good.
The ending killed me. Let me tell you, I had no idea whatsoever. I had no, and sometimes I feel dumb because it's like with The Others, the movie The Others from Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
You are my mother. Are you mad? You are my mother. I had no idea whatsoever. I had to watch that ending like 5 times. I'm like, what? What? So they're what? Because it just did. And then when I started thinking, the mother who played the mother in Transamerica is one of the ghosts in The Others. Love her. What's her name?
I can't remember.
She's like I can't remember her name. Have you seen Transamerica?
Yes. When it came out, that was a good movie.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
With my mom.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved it. Now let me tell you. People are like, oh, Hillary, I had no idea. Oh, Hillary. I said, no, don't oh, Hillary. I am nothing like that character. You will never see me walking around waiting on the bus looking. First of all, I'll never be waiting on the bus. Secondly, I will never look at the ground and go like this. I am not at all ashamed of who and what I am. What I do have a lot in common with Bree is the road trip that she gets on with the boy.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he wouldn't be my son, but that would happen to me. I would be on a road trip with a cute guy.
He was very
cute. That would happen to me. That would happen to me.
Cute. It is annoying when people see maybe a gay person or trans person, a minority in a movie, and then they like relate it back to you like it's supposed to be your I think that's annoying. I kind of hear it.
It is. And but I love that it brought a lot of attention.
Sure.
I'm not one of those that feels that it should have been played by, I think the best actress should play it. It doesn't matter to me what you are, the best actress should get the part. And she was probably the best actress. Let me tell you, there are parts in there where she looks just like, and I say, one of those type of transsexuals. And you know what I mean? One of those who maybe transitioned later in life, and she's not overly glamorous like me. But I come from a different school. I come from a different era. I'm a former showgirl. So I come from the clubs in Atlanta. If you've never visited Atlanta, that would be a place you would want to visit, Atlanta. But I come from the clubs in Atlanta, and that's where I got my start. And that's where I learned that I could be what I wanted to be 24/7, being a tall glamour. Like now I compare myself. I'm easing into my Norma, what's her name from Sunset Boulevard?
Norma Desmond.
I'm easing into my Norma Desmond phase. That's going to be me, fake eyelashes on at 12 o'clock noon for lunch. Of course.
Listen,
Dorian Lord, soap opera.
You said Norma Desmond. I have to tell you, I'm a little like, I don't blub a lot. Like I don't cry for a lot of things, but maybe I get a little queenie about Sunset Boulevard. The part where she goes back to the studio and everyone's like, it's Norma Desmond. I don't know why I always get a little verklempt. And then at the very end, I'm always like, when she's like out of her gourd going down the stairs. It's one of the only movies that kind of gets me a little.
Did you see my I do a review of Mommy Dearest, and I'm doing a makeup tutorial throughout the whole movie. Let me tell you, it took me 3 videos to get through Mommy Dearest. And because I interspersed, I put scenes from my one of my Toxic Johnson interviews specials in there with him. A very toxic Mommy Dearest, you know, because that's my boo. That's my boo. Hey, Toxic. Hey, Trey. But I do that. I said, I'm ready for my close-up now, Mr. DeMille. Oh, wait. But I do at the end, at the end I do that. And I actually wear my wedding catsuit at the end of that movie, at the end of my review. So if you guys haven't checked out my Mommy Dearest review, please do so. Jacob, this has been fascinating. I could go on and on, but this has already been an hour. And so this is going to take forever for me to download.
No, I know. It's flown by. Hillary, we have to do this again.
Very soon.
And this has been such an immersive, enjoyable experience. So thank you so much for having me. I love doing show and tell for you. I just adore you, and thank you for being
I adore you too. Thank you so much. I love your channel. Be sure to check his channel out, YouTube, Strangest Films. We're 2 of the only people who I'm not interested in going to TikTok. Someone sent me you have a lot more success on TikTok. No, I'm YouTube. I'm YouTube.
I know. People look at me like I'm an alien too, and I'm like, I'm on mute. I'm
a YouTuber. Listen, I need my $16 a week I make from YouTube. Let me tell you.
Mark it up.
So thank you, Jacob. Thank you so much for joining me. You're amazing. You're hot. Keep it going. Go out and get you some. I know you will. You're married.
All right. I love you, Hill Jane. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.